Love to the whole horror family, man. How y'all doing, man? So happy to have y'all, for another nice long release. I'm shooting for another hour on this one. And I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm really happy to do these longer videos for y'all. And y'all seem to really love them. So here you go with another one. That's going to be a whole hour. It's going to tell y'all about back when I was a bus driver. I used to drive city bus. And I came across some crazy, spooky stuff while I was out there. And I heard some crazy stories from other drivers. So I'm going to cover that stuff for y'all. And before I do that, I want to let y'all know a little bit about what I got going on. So the channel been growing like crazy. Y'all hear that train in the background. I be trying to tell y'all, man, I do my stuff live from the hood, man. I'm right out here on the street with it, man. So anyway, the channel been growing like crazy, man. I got a lot of new subs, man. And my watch time is shooting up pretty fast. I'm past the halfway point. You need 4,000 hours. I'm at about 2,200 now. So, it's moving and grooving, man. This is great. And, because my main goal is to do this full time, man. I want to do this all day long, every day, 24/7, 365, man. So, my career is this. I'm not in school to be an engineer or whatever. I ain't in school to be no mechanic. I ain't in school for none of that. I ain't going to go get my Class A license so I can drive trucks. I'm not, that's not what I'm doing, man. My career is here. I'm fully invested in this. So until it pay me, man, I'm gonna be grinding. I'm gonna keep grinding, cause this what I want to do. I want to entertain y'all for a living, man. So I'm fully invested. You ain't never gotta worry about me quitting or going, somewhere else. And people be taking breaks. Look, I ain't taking no break, all right? Even I might go on a vacation, once my money get unfunny, I might go on a vacation. But, even then, I'm going to have some stuff, done ahead of time so y'all can have something to do while I'm out there kicking it, man. But anyway, this is what I'm doing. So, I started a Patreon because I seen Patreon been great for a lot of folks who, trying to make some money off they art or whatever. So I started a Patreon. I got the link to it in the description, or you can go to patreon.com/hoodhorror, and I got different tiers. So under there I got the first tier. You got exclusive exclusive voting for polls on my YouTube releases, different stories I'm gonna do. You get to vote on what you want to be in the stories and the stories you want. I got another tier where I got books. I got a full poetry books I've done. I got a little a novel that I done, and I never put this stuff out. So if you get on the Patreon, you gonna get exclusive, exclusive rights to that stuff. And on that stuff, I got this hand-drawn art. This ain't just no, this is actually detailed hand-drawn art, man. And then I got some music where I play piano. I got some guitar tracks and some real creepy music and stuff. For y'all that like that, I got some of that, along with some more rap music and stuff. We got that too. I be saying we, but Hood Horror really just me. My family help from time to time when I grab them and twist their arm, but really it's just me, man. And I also got another tier on there where I would do custom 30-minute stories for you. Tell me what you want the story to be about. If you want to put your name in there, I use your name or whatever. Whatever you want, I'll do that custom story for you, and it can be private, just me and you, or you can put it out on your page or whatever. I can put it out on my page. It's up to you, whatever you want. And the last tier, I do hand-drawn art and send it to your house, man. I'm talking about, like, I do some art, make it look nice, shaded in, pretty, creepy stuff, whatever you like, whatever you want, and I send it to you, so you will actually have so when I get rich and famous, you can go on eBay and you can sell my art and make a couple of dollars off of it, man. So this is stuff that I want to do for y'all, and I want to free myself up so I had a time to do this stuff. Cause now, I go to work, man. I be getting it, then I come home and I be getting it, and I ain't getting tired. I got a lot of energy. I got a lot of hustle in me. But I want to find a way where I can do it a little easier, man. Make it a little easier for me, so I ain't gotta stay up late all the time. I can lay it on down, But anyway, I want to thank Joshua Lay, man. You probably see him in the comments of a lot of my stuff. I know he been a fan way back going into the Chill and Tell days, man. And I want to thank him for being the first Patreon, man, the first supporter. It's a blessing, man. That's my brother right there. And I know he into the working out and martial arts and MMA and stuff. And, I do some of that stuff too, man. So if you're ever in Atlanta, hit me up, man. We can get together and, we can train whatever you like. We can kick it, man. Go to the gym, go in Planet Fitness and act a fool and get kicked out, man. So thank you, my brother. And whoever else will become a Patreon, a patron, I should say, y'all gonna be on my Hood Horror Hall of Fame, man. So thank you, love y'all, and let's get to the story. All right, now I was a bus driver. I city bus. I drove city bus in Atlanta. They call it MARTA, Metro Atlanta Rapid Transportation Association. Now, MARTA, a little thing, a little hood thing, people say, be smarter or ride MARTA or whatever. But ain't nothing smart about riding the bus, man. I hate the bus, man. I used to ride the bus myself, going in Chicago. Went to school up on the north side. So, I stayed on the west side, and I have to get on the bus, man, take the bus down to Western, then Western up to Addison, man. So, some wintertime, certain times of year, depending on if I get out the house in time and stuff, I might have a 2-hour bus ride on the way to school. And then another 2 hours on the way home, man. So I done spent a whole lot of time on the bus, man. I done seen fights on the bus. I remember one time, this old guy, he about 45. He about 45. He had a little bag and he was standing up and he put his bag on the floor, and the young boy said, he just come out of nowhere, took his looked up and said, "Get your MFing bag off my foot." And the old guy said, "My bag ain't on your MF foot." So the young boy stood up all slow and took his headphones out. And man, that old man ain't say a word. He just choked him. He choked him. They was sitting up front. The young boy shouldn't even been sitting up front, man. He's supposed to get that seat to an old lady or something. But that old man choked that young boy. I was like in the middle of the bus. I think I was sitting down, but yeah, I think I was sitting down. I'm like in the middle. Yeah, man, they grabbed that young boy. He choked him from the front of the bus all the way to the back of the bus. And I was just sitting there looking. They was right next to me at one point. I'm just looking, man. I'm like, God, come on, y'all, you too old for that, man, and you too young for that. And they didn't change. Then they get done, and the young boy then got his earring. He had them screw-in earrings. Got his earring ripped out. And he picked it up, got his stuff, and just ran up off the bus because the bus driver was going to call the police on him. And they just went on about their business, man. The old young guy got off the bus, and the old guy, gathered his stuff, man, and that was it, man. It wasn't even like, okay, now when I was here, when I was in Atlanta, man, I think after that, I probably would have had to call in, man, but shoot, for that bus driver, the driver stopped long enough to let him off, and we went on about our business, man. So Chicago is a little different, man. People would get into it with each other on the bus, but people wouldn't really mess with the bus driver. I don't remember many times where somebody messed with the bus driver. I remember like one time this guy, I guess he saw somebody he was beefing with, and when he saw the guy, he stood up and started shaking the door saying, "Let me off this MF and let me out of here," like he gonna jump off the bus and go and beat the guy up. But I don't ever remember nobody directly, messing with the bus driver. I remember I messed with a bus driver one time. I found out every time I pulled the thing, the bell would ring, because it's only supposed to ring one time. So I remember I rang the bell like, ding. That bus driver was so mad. So, but it was stuff like that. Not no, major stuff. I also remember, I remember this crackhead guy would get on the bus, man. I don't know if he was he wasn't like a crackhead, but he was like a wino, man. He just always drunk. But it would be like 6 in the morning, on the way to school. When he get on the bus, he be singing the Temptations and all that old school stuff and swinging around the poles, talking about some weed. I remember one day he reached up there and ripped the whole cord off, man. Boy, that guy was so, I guess when you hear them wine muscles, man, pulled the whole dang cord off, man. And turned around and said, I said, man, you ain't going somewhere. But that's all, man. It was always silly stuff. Now, I did see a couple more. I might have been involved in a little bus fight once or twice, man. I remember one time, dang, what happened? It was this school right next to my school, and we used to get into it with them. I never did. I just jumped in because everybody else was doing it, stupid stuff. But them boys got on. And one of us was like, hey, ain't that them right there? And, that might have involved in a fight, a couple of little hits thrown or whatever. But, that's about the most I ever done. Now, I used to act the fool. I used to be roasting some people. I remember one time, we was on the bus, man, and that day was just one of them. Sometimes we be bored, man. We be like, we just gonna join everybody. Well, we said roast a flame in Chicago, but down here in Atlanta, they say John. We be like, man, we gonna get everybody get on this. But I remember, this Mexican guy got on the bus, and you know how them old school Mexican players be dressed with the hat on, a sombrero, and them pointy boots, and big old belt buckle, and shirt tucked in, pants pulled all up. And I got him good, but I was like, there's a snake in my boot. Yeah, boy, that was some funny stuff, man. He turned around and gonna laugh. He heard me. He turned around with a big old grin on, man. So, we used to have some fun, man. But there was a dark side to the bus, There was a dark side. You had your bad moments, but people usually respected the bus because folk was happy to have the bus to get around, man. So anyway, when I got down here, I realized it's a little different, man. People... You never saw a lot of altercations on the bus, but, you see people get into it with the bus driver a lot, mad because they late trying to get to work or whatever. So it's a lot different here, man. Like Atlanta real friendly, but it's something about cars and transportation where people just become real jerks, man. They nice and stuff in face to face, but something about being on the bus or being behind the wheel, they just turn into the world's biggest jerks, man. So, it's crazy. You never know the way life will take you. You never know, what's coming down the line. But I ended up being a bus driver. Now, I heard people, I made it through a year, though. Shoot, I did a year almost, right at a year or whatever. I don't know how, but I made it through a year, man. But the crazy thing about it was every day was a new journey, because when you knew, the bus driving thing is a totem pole. You got to make your way from the bottom of the pecking order all the way to the top, man. It's just like it's just like the streets, man. It's like a dang gang, man. You start off at the bottom, and you gotta crawl your way up to the top, man. When I say crawl, bro, I mean crawl. And the only way you go up is when people die or people quit, man. So it's really just like a game, man. Folk gotta die or quit for you to make your way up, man. So I was at the bottom, like all the other new drivers or whatever, man, trying to, make my way up. So when you're at the bottom, you don't have a route. You basically fill in for people the older people, when they call off, get sick, go on vacation, whatever the case is, whatever they call out for, that's when that's when you get your route. So we'll come in and we'll just be sitting in a lobby thing, waiting on our number to get called. So this meant every day you had a new route. And this meant that, ain't no GPS on the bus. So you got to take a piece of paper and go out in the street with this piece of paper and follow this piece of paper and do what it tells you to do and go where it tells you to go. And it's brutal, man, because Atlanta and the surrounding suburbs of Atlanta is not like Chicago and New York where everything's a grid. Everything in Atlanta is a twist, turn, loop-de-loop. The streets, man. Oh, you go through, I'm talking about, you go down and the streets turn so many different ways. And you got all these little side streets, all these little, areas where you're going down and it look like you just lost forever, but you're not lost. Atlanta got this place was not designed for as many people as it is and that's coming here now. It was designed to be a small city, man, but for whatever reason, it blew up into this big, crazy city, man. So, we got to suffer through it because you can't rebuild now. You can't stop and shut it down and make the highways bigger and make the streets a perfect grid now. You just stuck with what you got now. So it was rough, man. Like, this was the most nerve-wracking thing you could imagine. So I'm finna give y'all a true scenario. Imagine you get there, you had to get to work 3 o'clock in the morning. So you get there at 3 o'clock in the morning and you sitting in a lobby and when I started, I had to start on the north side of town. So that was even worse because I stay on the south side. I'm up here working on the north side. And that's even worse because I'm not even, I'm familiar, but I ain't familiar. So you up there and you waiting on your route. You don't know what it's going to be. All you know is they finna call you any minute and give you a piece of paper and tell you to go out there and drive that bus all the way to the end of the line. It's dark outside, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you finna pick people up. You not knowing where you're going. You trying to ask them for help, and they mad at you because they gotta ride the bus 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning trying to get to a job that they hate. And they got all whatever in the world going on, and you trying to ask them for help. It's brutal, man. If you suffer from like you can't handle a lot of stress and stuff, boy, that is not the job for you, man. So anyway, that's what you already dealing with every day. It got better as time went on because throughout the day you learn the route. Every now and then you hear one of them routes that changed. Like, it was some routes that changed every time. Like, one time you go down this street, then the next go around you go down this street. So but for the most part, after a couple of times around, you didn't got used to it or whatever. So so I was starting to get a hang of the job. Now me, I never had nobody mess with me too much because the Lord protect me, and also I'm a big guy, man. So ain't too many people really mess with me because they figure, all right, if I try to talk some trash to him, we might actually get to moving some chairs around, man. The bus might get to rumbling. I mess with him, so nobody mess with me too much. And plus I used to let folk do whatever. They get on the bus and they had a big handful of penny stars. I said, man, what you doing? I'm trying to pay. Look, man, go sit down. Man, just go sit, man. Just whatever, man. You all right? You ain't finna stay up here and put all these pennies in, and they get it going up there messing around in their pockets and stuff like that. And I say they know they ain't trying to pay. I said, look, what's going on, huh? Oh man, I said, just go sit down, man. Then some people get on there with the store. They come late, old lady get on. Excuse me, bus drive. I said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Auntie. Just go get you a good old seat, all right? So I was smooth with it, man. So I never had a lot of problems anyway. So one night, I was on, well, it was morning, but it was dark, real early morning. And this guy get on. He looked like he was a crackhead, looked like he was homeless, but not like all the way homeless, but he just looked like he had it rough, man. Like he spent a lot of time on the street, man. And he get on, and he was a decent old guy though, man. He one of them old guys just like to talk, man. I think he was just riding the bus just for fun, man, because he ain't had nowhere to go. And a lot of drivers would kick him off when they get to the end of the line or make him pay again, and I just let him stay, man. Shoot, I don't know where to go. You helping me? You cool, man. I ain't got no problem with you. Plus, people be spitting on people, man. And if I'm a bus driver talking about people and spit on them, I ain't messing with nobody. Because if somebody spit on me, I'm going to lock that door and we gonna throw down, boy. If some imagine just some old nasty mug and spit on you. Oh, man, I'm locking that door and we finna throw down, man. You slap me or something, I let that go. I'll fall out, act like you done slapped the living daylights out of me, boy. But if you spit on me, because I'll take that slap and get that money, but I ain't taking no spit. You spit on me, boy, we throwing down, man. But anyway, so he get to talking, and he tell me, he say, it's haunted up and through here. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? It's haunted. I said, what you talking about is haunted? He said, man, it's this old bag lady. Now, for y'all that don't know, a bag lady is a lady that's usually homeless, and she just got bags and bags and bags, and she carry all her bags with her. And it be bags inside of bags and all kind of crazy, silly stuff in it. You might think it's groceries, then you get up and really realize it's just bags on top of bags. I remember one who got on the bus in high school, and it was horrible if you ever got caught on the bus that the bag lady was on, because she was old and she'd bring one in, sit down, bring another one, like she bring them bags in. I remember my guy helped her one time. I was like, I ain't touching them bags, man. I ain't touching that lady bags, man. He went and helped her one day, and he said it was just bags inside the bags, man. But so he said it was a bag lady to be on this little stretch. Now I'm like, man, I'm just going along with it. I said, oh yeah, bag, what was she, tell me about her. So he get telling the story. Yeah, she used to get on the bus, and it was the same thing like what I grew up with in Chicago. The lady got on the bus, and she take a long time trying to bring all them bags in, and the bus drivers and stuff, they would get mad at her, because you trying to stay on time, because you got to be on time on that bus. The thing be tracking you and keeping track of your time and all that. So then don't be late, and some old no good joker got to get to work, man, and they done been late, so now they mad at you. You so for the fight then, man. So he telling a story about it, how long she used to take to get everything loaded, and she asked for the bus driver to let the ramp out so she could walk up the ramp, and it's all kind of stuff, man. So he said the bus drivers started ignoring her and would just, blast right past her. After, so long, drivers stopped picking her up. So, I guess depends on what driver it was, some of the, I guess the older ones that been there a while, they get jacked up. They've been there so long, they stop caring. They get doing whatever they want to do. So, one night it was raining real bad, and the driver was upset because they was out there raining. They could barely see, certain parts of Georgia ain't got a lot of street lights, man. So, some parts ain't got no street light at all, depending on where you at. And they said that driver was coming down the road real fast and purposely trying to move fast at that stop where the lady would be at, just so they wouldn't have to pick her up. So after they went by, And the bag lady on the, she's hollered at the bus or whatever, but one nothing she could do. So she got to walking, and they say while she was walking, she got ran over by a truck. So the truck that run her over, it killed her. So after that, he said when you went down that stretch of road, certain days, certain nights, depending on what the weather was like, if the weather was real bad and rainy and foggy and stuff, he said you can come down there. You say you see all them bags sitting on the stop. You know our bus stops had them little benches on them. You get there and you'll see all the bags sitting at the bench, but won't nobody be there. And nobody else ever got on at that stop. He said that she was the one, called the city and said, put a little bench right here for her to sit on and a little shelter thing. But before that, nobody used to stop, and still nobody used to stop because of, her ghosts apparently, man. So he said you'll come through there and you'll see them bags right there. And it was one driver who stopped because he saw the bags. He was new. He saw the bags and he stopped because he figured, okay, if the bag's there, the person there. So I guess he wasn't really paying attention. And sometimes the person might be behind the shelter, the bus stop shelter thing, because they usually have a picture up there of a movie, of an advertisement or something. So they might be behind there, putting something in a trash can or something. So he stopped when he seen the bags. And he said he sat there for a minute. He looked around the shelter and didn't see nobody there. And he went back to look at the bags, and he said he saw an old lady, but she was pale, like white ghost powder face pale. And she just started screaming at him, man. And he said he shut that door and he took off. Yeah, buses don't take off fast, but he took off as fast as he could in that bus, man. Well, it depends on what bus. Them old buses take off fast. The new buses don't take off, but the old bus take off fast, man. He said he pulled off on her, man, and he ain't never. And he said after that he refused. He like, I ain't doing that route. Y'all can write me up. I don't care what it is. If that route come up, you pass it to the next person. I ain't doing it. So I'm hearing this guy talk, but I'm like, okay, whatever, man. He just running his mouth. But he rode with me till, the daytime, and then other people started getting on the bus in the daytime. It's like one of them old people routes where don't nobody start really getting on till the old folk just want to go to the store with their little shopping cart, the little shopping cart basket thing the old ladies folk be having. So it was pretty cool. But now the next time I got that route, Unc didn't get on that morning. So I had to ride that mug by myself, and I was riding by myself all until, all that morning, man. And every time I got past that stop where the lady was would get on at, the bag lady, I just couldn't help it but slow down a little bit, because I was just trying to see some bags, man. I just said, man, I want to see if it's really gonna be some bags out here. It's one of them things where you ain't about that life, but you just want to see because you just want the rush, So I just want the rush. I want to feel that heart drop down feeling. But I never saw it. Maybe one day I'll go out to that bus stop, show y'all one day. I had another story for you. There was this lady. Now, my granddaddy was a bus driver too. My granddaddy drove a bus in Chicago. In Chicago, they call it CTA, Chicago Transit Authority. So my granddaddy drove for CTA. He was took a lot of pride in it, man. He used to do the bus rodeo thing and won it, where they, I guess, drive the bus through cones and do little trick maneuvers and stuff. He won that a few times. Used to train people and all that. Granted, and at the time, back in the day, that was a good job, man. It's a good job now, but back then, man, especially for black folk, man, black folk didn't have a lot of college education and stuff. So if you had a city job, that was huge, man. He always kept him a Cadillac and stuff, And it was like the Wild West back then because they ain't had cameras on the bus. So you can knock somebody out, cuss them out, whatever, man, get away with it. But now everything different now. They be watching your butt now. Excuse me. So he was he told me, now in Chicago, he drove mostly on the west side. I guess he drove everything, but after he got his seniority and stuff, he drove the route that went right by the house, man. So he'd go up in the house for a little while, eat and stuff, and then go back, finish his route later. That's how they split it up for some reason. That's just how it go. But anyway, so he said it was this lady when he drove at night. This lady would get off, late at night, man, and she would have to walk. She was kind of older lady. I think she about 40, 50 years old. One of them old sassy ladies, man. Don't take no stuff, ladies. And she used to walk, and she messed around and got robbed one time. So she said, okay, all right. She just gave the purse or whatever up. Then she got robbed again. Now see, that's where I messed up. The first time I got robbed, I let them take it. So now they figure, okay, I'm gonna rob her again. She gonna let me take the purse again. So the devil don't stop at the devil don't stop at a little bit. The devil want all of you. He like people think, oh, I just do a little bit. The devil gonna get, if he get a little bit, if he get an inch, he gonna go for a mile, man. So she already know this guy finna try to rob her, or somebody gonna try to rob her again. So she got her a pistol, and she said the next time she went to the learn how to shoot it, learn how to get pretty decent with it, and she said the next time she got something for him. So sure enough, the day came where the guy or a guy tried to rob her again. I don't know if it was the same guy or whatever. It might have been, might not have been. And she said okay, and she reached out to hand the purse. And when he got the purse, as soon as he turned around, she put one in his butt, boy. She said she put one in the right cheek, and he jumped up and hollered. Then she put one in the left cheek. Yeah, that lady, boy, so after that, the word got out, and she was like, and she became like an outlaw, man. She, like a dang sheriff in a western, man. She would walk down the street after that, pistol in her hand. Didn't have it in no holster or in the purse or tucked in her waistband. She would walk down the street with a purse in one hand and the pistol in the other hand, man. Finger on the trigger, ready to pull, boy. So everybody in the neighborhood knew, she ain't the one, man. You let this lady alone. Even the police wouldn't mess with this lady. They'll see if the police happen to be around, they'll wave at her, nod at her, whatever, and they keep it moving and she keep it moving, man. So, that was a real interesting story, man. And you don't see stuff like that's the type of stuff you won't see no more. That's just like some old school, that's just that old school stuff that we just won't, you just can't do that no more, You just can't get down like that no more. Folk be talking about how bad the new generation is. Don't let them, man, look. Where the new generation learn this stuff from? Sure, this junk ain't nothing new, man. Them old folk the one, man, I'm going to tell you, since we talking about bus and stuff, I remember one time when I was coming from college, man, I was I used to take the train and stuff and bus to get up to the school, man. And I remember one day I'm coming back to the crib, and I see these two young boys, and one of them trying to hold the other one back. And this is older guy. He about 35, 40. And he just like, come on with it. Come on with it. And young guy just, man, you talking about dope? Oh, my mom, man. You ain't talking about nothing, but, he doing all that. And the old guy just, come on with it. And the old guy, because he had a pistol on him, man. So the old guy just waiting on this young boy to do something so he could shoot him on the train, man. So, like, hey, man, they be talking about, young kids always quick to pick up a gun. Ain't no young boys, man. Young boys ain't shooting each other like that over some drug stuff, yeah. Not over no little fist fight. That's them old guys got them pistols ready to kill you, man. Look, any old guy carrying a gun or he carrying a knife. Don't get it twisted. If he ain't got a knife, he got a gun. If he ain't got a gun, he got a knife. And some of them got both. Because they scared of young boy. So they stay with some because they scared of young boy mess with them. They can't run. They can't do nothing. They don't want to be fighting them. Because, young boys travel in packs, man. So don't let folk tell you about all the young man. It be them old folk, the ones shooting people, man. But anyway, back to business. Now, one of the worst moments I had was my route sheet was jacked up. They change the routes up every so often, man, and I don't know if somebody took the street sign down or if somebody changed the street signs or whatever the case may be. But I'm driving and it tell me to turn on so-and-so street. Now, it wasn't no sign on the street. And the next street was far down. And this was like one of them areas where a bunch of the houses was abandoned. And it was dark, hardly any street lights. And the ones it was, them old school yellow pale street lights and all that. So I'm already just, upset, flustered, whatever you want to call it. Now, wasn't nobody on the bus this early in the morning. I'm trying to get out to the first end of the line so I can do my first go round. Now, I had my phone with me, and it was some times where I would just pull it out and use the phone, but this time I'm trying to think, what was it like? By the time I got to the when I got to the street, okay, what did I do? Okay, I pulled the phone out, but I couldn't get no reception. Sometimes the thing be showing the LTE, but then sometimes that junk be showing 2G and 3G. So it must have been some big trees in the way or whatever, man. But that junk was showing like 2G, 3G, and I got Sprint, man. Folks, you say whatever you want, you people that work at Sprint. But Sprint got some dead zones, and you be like right in the city, and it just be complete dead zones, man. Like over there where I go to church at, man, it's just a complete dead zone, and you can barely, we be in the car celebrating if we can keep data, when we get close to the area, man. So, it's one of them dead zones. Now, some of the buses here Wi-Fi. Sometimes it didn't work, so I tried to hook to the bus Wi-Fi and couldn't get it. Then you call support or control, whatever they call them. What are they? BCC, what they call them, bus communications. You call them, and they, they can't figure out where you at. They giving you wrong info. Since the route was new, they was giving some bad info. So I'm listening to them, and I didn't went and turned on the wrong street, or whatever. And then I told one of street sign out there. So now I'm just all jacked up, man. And I go way down this street, man. Oh, Toe Up Street, man. And when I get to the end, it's a dead end, man. So now I'm just, ooh-wee. Man, I'm so upset, man. I'm ready to just start screaming, man. Cause, you can't see out the back. You know, you got your window side mirrors, but it was so dark that ain't really doing me much good. And of course, you can't see out the back of the bus. And they tell you get out and look. But I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to get out. It's dark than a mug out here. I don't know who out here. So I'm trying to back up, and you know the big loud buzzer going off while I'm backing up. And I seen somebody. Now, you know, I couldn't really make him out, you know, real good, but I knew it was somebody. And he standing there looking at me, doing what I do. So I'm like, dang, should I call him over for help to help me back up out of here? Ask him for directions, but at the same time, you know, it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to invite trouble onto the dang bus, man. And he just watched, man, and it took me so long, man. It took so long to back that bus back up down that street, man. That was some horrifying stuff, man. That was some scary stuff, man. Yeah, that was brutal, man. That was a bad moment right there, boy. Ooh, wee. Man, that was brutal. Yeah, I'm telling you that right there. I wouldn't wish that. I'm glad it was me though, and not one of them female drivers, man. Because if it was a female, he probably would have tried something. That was rough right there, boy. And now it was another time where I was talking to a driver. They'd been there, you know, one of them drivers been there 40 years, man. Just could have been retired, but just don't want to stop, man. Now he say, you know, it was a route over there. It's this area called the man, what is that area called? Oh man, I forgot. It's this little hood, man. It's like this little hood. They call it it's called the Bluff. Now the Bluff is you know, some folk might know it. It's like just a real hood spot, but it's one of them spots where they done pushed all the folks out and they going in there and rebuilding. You know, it's one of them rebuilding spots, man. So the guy was telling me, like, way back in the day, man, you know, the route he used to do a route over there, but the route used to go to the like now it go to like downtown, but you know, back in the day it was different or whatever. So he said he used to do that route, and he would always see this lady, and she'd get on the bus, and she'd never say nothing. Now, he just figured, you know, she probably just some old drugged out lady who done messed her life up, and just, you know, so she would always have a hood on. She would never really look up at him. She'd just get on the bus with her head down, hood on, sit there quiet, don't ever say nothing, and get off. And he said he'd speak to her, and she'll at the most do say a little moan or just kind of grunt or whatever. But you know, he just did, you know, it is what it is, man. He didn't really care with her. He just whatever. So he said one day he came in on his off day to cover somebody's route or get some extra work or whatever, and they gave him a route that he wasn't familiar with. So he went out and messed around and got lost, you know, down in the you know, further away from the city and into the suburbs and the industrial side of town. So he saw this you know, he get up to the bus stop once he finally, you know, got his bearings or whatever, and he said he saw the lady, like he recognized the coat or whatever. So he said it really tripped him out because this was nowhere near you know, this was nowhere near where she lived or where he would usually pick her up at. So, but I guess he figured, you know, she must work down in this area somewhere. But wasn't no other employees out there. Wasn't nobody, like, it was just her around. So whatever, he say, it's just a crazy coincidence. So she get on and he said, hey, you know, how you doing? And she's did her usual, just grunting at him. So he pulled off and now the weird thing about it was here all the buses, or most, yeah, pretty much all of them. I think all the buses go to a train station. You know, the train station is like a cross in the middle of the city. And everything goes to the train stations. All the buses go to a train station. Like in Chicago, you got buses that just, you know, they don't intersect with the train. They just do their own thing or whatever. But in Atlanta, everything goes to the train stations. So she got on, but she didn't get on headed to the train. She got on headed to the end of the line. Now at the end of the line, wasn't nothing down there but a Waffle House, and you know, that was it. It was just a Waffle House, and it was right by like a expressway exit ramp or something. So it was like a place where people from the country, they'd park and they get on the bus there and head to the city. And there wasn't nothing out there but a Waffle House. Well, that's the only thing that would be open, you know, at least. So she was headed down to the end of the line, and you know, he just thought that's weird. Like, hey, you know, it's time to go home. You should be headed to the train. So you know, he just ran, and he just peeking back at her and just trying to see what she gonna do. So he figured maybe she'd ride with him to the end of the line and ride back to the train station. So they get there, they on their way there, and he hear the thing buzz for the end of the line. And he pick up, you know, they make you pick up the little radio thing and say, yeah, the bus, blah, 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 this the end of the line, so-and-so street, whatever. And he make the announcement, and when he get there, he stop and open the door, and she was already gone, man. You know, she was already gone. He said she wasn't nowhere in sight. You know, she was completely gone off that bus, man. And he started looking around. He get out of his seat, he peeking around, looking around outside, and all he see is the Waffle House, and ain't nothing else around but a couple of cars here and there. And that was it. He said he called, he went to the supervisor after work, talked to the supervisor and everything. And he went and he was just, like he said, he was just tripping, just kept talking, asking, had other people seen this lady and all that. So when he got back on his regular route, he said he never saw her again. Say he never saw that lady again, man. He did that route for years, and after that day, he never saw her. And he said he would ask people about her, and nobody knew who he was talking about. So he just felt like it must have been like the whole world was just, you know, out to get him, man. But you know, Unc might have drove himself crazy working that dang long, man. Shoot, I ain't spent, man. Could you imagine 40 years on one job? Shoot. Boy, I can't stay on a job 1 year, man. After a year, I get the itching and stuff, man. I don't know how you do 40, boy. So anyway, but for y'all out there that's putting in time on your job, boy, God bless you, boy. You is loyal. So anyway, these just a few stories I had from back in my day of bus driving, and I hope y'all enjoyed them. I hope y'all like these longer videos, and it take a lot, but I'm gonna get them out there for y'all, man. So thank y'all for listening, man. And remember, if you can, come to the Patreon for exclusive stuff that don't nobody else get. And if you made it to the end of the video, all the way to the end, I just want to let you know, I be praying for y'all, man. Whatever you going through, know you got your big brother in the corner, man.